Okay, we will go ahead and get the regular board meeting called to order for the Kent City School District Board of Education. Time in is 7 o'clock. Item 2, can we go ahead and have roll call, please?
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes. Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item 3, approval and correction of the minutes of the regular board meeting that was held on June 19th, 2023. Could I have a motion, please?
Dick?
Thanks, Justin. A second?
Ledley?
Lovely, thank you. Any discussion? Everybody get a chance to look at them? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
With no discussion, can we have a vote, please?
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Looks like we've got no one for the principal, supervisor, faculty reports tonight. 5, public participation. Anybody sign up? Justin? No, thank you. And item 6, report to the treasurer.
Okay.
So the floor is yours.
All right. We'll go over very quickly how we ended the year. And also, for those that hadn't heard, we have $400,000 in LFI interest, which is ours. State has nothing to do with it. And $371,000 for local interest. Okay. Like I said, this is going to be pretty quick.
Right now, we're getting over 200,000 a month.
That's great.
Now.
That's great.
Early on, we weren't getting that much,
No.
but now.
Easy.
Careful.
Okay, so the first column is what we forecasted. Second column is where we ended June 30th. So if you just scroll down to total revenues, we predicted a little over 22 million. We actually came at 22.2. So the difference of 178,000. If you want to go down just a little bit more on the expenses. So I've highlighted the biggest difference that we have here, even though the overall picture we came in about where we predicted, was our purchase services. And I think next month we'll talk a little bit more in detail as to some of the things I'm going to bring up as to why I thought maybe it was 2.1, we ended up at 2.5, which was a significant, obviously, difference. But to give you a little idea of why that came in the way it did, I provided the second sheet here as to why between, a lot of things came from the ESC. So we paid for our innovation teacher, which is Wes Goldsmith. He's always been here, but we had a grant to pay for it. This year we did not. We had a couple floating subs through the ESC, which we did not have before in the past. So that was new to the budget this year. Our site we had before, but was being paid through a grant, so it came back to us as the general fund. We had a couple speech things come in. We had outside source AMN do our speech. We didn't have that before. It came to us this year because of other things that have been going on with some of the kids. That included the ESC, they had speech. That was something we didn't have before, we had this year. We also paid for an aid to the DD. That was $28,000. We didn't have that prior. That came into us this year. A couple other aids that we didn't have prior from the ESC, but we had this year. ELL, we've always had through the ESC, but that was paid for through a grant. This year it came back to us in the general fund. We've always had our resource officers. Again, that was funded from the state in another fund. So that funding came to us from the general fund. So that hit our general fund instead of another 400 fund grant. And then we had a couple other aids that, again, were through the ESC. We didn't have prior and came back to us. So all in all, that was $500 and some thousand. Obviously, there were some things that could take away and add to, and it was a little bit of a difference. So the overall difference was $400,000. So if you scroll down to total expenses, so we predicted almost 21. We came in a little over 21 after all was said We thought we'd have a cash carryover from June into fiscal year 2024, 10.2, and we ended up with about 10.1. So a swing of $150,000, which in the scheme of things, $21 million budget was pretty spot on. So those were good things. But again, some of these things that were affected in the purchase services we're going to have to talk about next month from our special ed curriculum person. That was it.
Okay.
And as I stated too, we had a big payout for our investments for our building project. So just to kind of give you an idea what the big payout was, we had in our LFI fund interest come to us $132,000, and in the local share it was $111,000. That's what made up that $400,000 in the LFI and $371,000 in the local. So we're hoping to see some big paybacks in the next couple months, because after talking with our OFCC today, between Peterson, our construction management, and Garmin Miller, we were talking about where we should be with payments for vendors. And other than Garmin Miller and Stan & Associates, and we haven't even paid Peterson yet, our construction manager, probably the next 6 months, we're not going to have a lot of payments coming out. But it'll start ramping up probably in the spring when things really start going full bore. So hopefully this next 6 months or so, we'll be able to get good interest coming into us. We're predicting hopefully maybe 1.5 million in interest. That would be wonderful. That's the target. That's where we're trying to going to try and get to. That was just a little bit overview of what else we talked about today as well.
Okay, thanks, Jill. Any questions for Jill? Okay, could I have a motion to accept, please?
Hansel.
Thanks, Rodney. A second?
Dick?
Thanks, Justin. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, we'll have a vote.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to item 7, superintendent report, communications.
Yeah, I'm going to give just a few updates. First one, and I appreciate Times is here, and I think you actually covered the story. I'm not positive, but the GPI popcorn cup, I don't know if some of you saw that, but some of the things I wanted to highlight there was that just the idea of partnering with a local business and then allowing our kids to actually drive the project. And they actually came up with the design and some of the ideas behind it. Obviously, they have guidance from the art teacher who did a great job with that, but seeing that all the way through to now this fall when you go to your football game, or even in the spring when you go to your track meet, or whenever you're there, you buy that popcorn and it's going to have the kids riding on it. And I just think that's a great partnership. I wanted to thank GPI just for being willing to do that, for them to shut down one of their machines and switch over and program to design for a very small number, even though it was probably, I don't know, 10,000 or 20,000 that we ran. For them, that's very small. That's not, so they really did us a solid there by doing that. So I want to thank them for that. Worked today with our meals workers for the summer. Just kind of hung out and helped to pass out some lunches for the summer. And we've got great people in our community, but we've got some awesome workers in our cafeteria that give their time. Obviously, we pay them, but during the summer to come out, it's hot and they're loading vehicles and they have to do a lot to prepare for that. And so I just wanted to thank them. I don't know if anybody else happened to notice, but there is a tractor on site at this point for construction. There's a tractor that's going to be mowing to try to establish where everything is at this point, but then here in the next week or so, we might see some large earth-moving pieces of equipment. So it's one of those, we've been waiting on this. And so just the fact that a tractor got dropped off into the lot or into the area today was pretty cool. Last thing is, I do want to highlight, and there'll be a press release go out, I'll get that to the Times here, that today we're going to begin to announce, and it'll go out obviously tomorrow and social media and things like that, but all students of Kenton City Schools are going to be eligible to receive a free all sports pass for this next year. So that means that all students that attend Kenton City Schools will be able to go to all of our home events for free. Now there is something that you need to do to get a little pass to be able to do that, and we're going to push that out so it makes it easy for parents to do that. But that was through generosity of Hensel Ready Mix and also Hadinger Insurance Group. So we thank them for that, but we're real excited to roll that out again. That'll go out tomorrow over across social media and everything else, but all of our kids are going to be able to attend the sporting events for free. So that's my report.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate that update. Item 9, old business. We don't have anything listed there, so we'll move on. New business. Item 10, look, we've got authorizations and resolutions today. Looks like we're approving the OOPSI agreement for the 2023 through 2026 school year. Appreciate the collaborative effort from everyone on that to get that accomplished. We really appreciate that. Moving forward, looks like we're approving the fees for the 23-24 school year for the high school, middle school, and elementary. Looks like we are approving the rate for the substitutes for the 23-24 school year, and assistants, and maintenance, it looks like. 10D, approved lunch and breakfast prices for the 23-24 school year. They're listed as such.
One thing to note on that
Yeah.
just came about, it looks like right now the state is going to allow reduced to become free for this school year. It's, I wouldn't say it if I wouldn't, 99.9% sure that's a done deal, but we're excited about that, and there'll be more information to come.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I know it's highly important. They talk about that every year, about get your application in.
Yes.
For that, it's one of the things that's pretty easy. I think you can go on the website, fill out all the paperwork. It is very helpful to have as many people apply for that as possible for those reduced lunches. 10E and so forth. There looks like we've got a lot of just one-liners. Approve the cross-categorical.
Yep.
Shared service agreement between Ridgemont, looks like Hardin Northern, Riverdale as well, and Ada. Approve the MOU between the Hardin County Board of Development Disabilities and the Kansas City Schools for special education. We are approving another foreign exchange student
Pronounce that name.
from Georgia.
Come on.
Nope.
Last name I can't, first name I believe was Barbara.
Was it Barbara?
Okay.
Okay.
Go on with that.
Okay.
That's what I was rolling with.
Last name, forget that.
What's the first name?
I believe this, she pronounces it Barbara.
Barbara?
Yes.
Oh, really?
From
Gio
Georgia. And that's not the
Gobania.
state of
Might
Georgia.
be beyond
It's
it.
not the state of Georgia.
Georgia
We
beyond.
are approving the 23-24 agreement between Midwest ESC and the Kansas City Schools, and also the agreement between Midwest Regional ESC. And a couple more of those for the some aides, it looks like. And the Director of Communication is also through the Midwest Regional ESC. That's the 10N there. Approve 10O, to approve the K-12 business consulting contract for 20,000, 2,000, oh my gosh.
2024.
2024, I can't even talk tonight. It's been a long day, I guess. Approve the following fund transfer, moving some money around between the funds.
Yep.
The athletic handbook for the year, approve the administrative personnel contract for 2023, 2026. Also collaborative effort on that. Appreciate everybody's commitment to getting that done. And then we've got an approved quote for the Chromebooks. And looks like an internal combustion lift truck, otherwise known as a tow motor. I
Yes,
think.
sir.
So with 10, could I have a motion to accept, please?
Dig what?
I got Dick there first. Second?
Ledley?
Ledley, thank you. Any questions, clarification on any of item 10? I went through those pretty quick. Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and have a vote, please.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mr. Ledley?
Yes.
Okay, item 11, personnel items. Looks like we've got some extended services that we're approving there from some teachers, guidance counselors. Resignation for Deb Bands, written resignation for Caitlin Ramirez. And looks like we're approving a contract, administrative contract for Carol McKinley. and resignation for Caleb Berkey for cross-country. Supplemental contracts for Caleb and Sarah. And supplemental contracts for Meg and Michael Conkle. Substitute teacher contingent upon required paperwork. So we've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for substitutes. And then we are approving the written retirement resignation of Doug Comstock as the maintenance supervisor. And approve Caitlin, I don't even know how to say that name,
Jarahan?
Jarahan for a custodian. Approve classified transfer. Salary adjustments for Deb Bartlett. We are approving Jill Smith, the contract for 30 years. 3 years, not 30. 3 years.
Right. Wow.
You're locked in.
Yeah.
Administrative contract for 2023, 2026. And then it looks like we've got a 6th grade social studies ELA teacher on 11-0. Could I have a motion to accept, please?
Hansel.
Thanks, Rodney. Second?
Dick?
Thanks, Justin. Any questions, clarification needed? It's pretty straightforward, I think. If not, let's have a vote.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes. Item 12, we will approve the motion to go into executive session to discuss further details of security arrangements and emergency response protocols. No further action will be taken. And it is 7:17 for that. And could I have a motion, please?
Hansel.
Thanks, Rodney. Second?
Ledley.
Ledley, okay.
He sounds
Thanks, guys.
I'm tired. Sorry.
Could I have a vote for that, please?
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Dick?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
13, we need to adjourn now?
Nope.
Adjourn the meeting now? We'll wait until do that afterwards. The next regular scheduled Board of Education meeting will be held on August 21st at 7 p.m. here at this building. Thanks so